It's the Jakub Show. It's time. Let's go.
All right, the first travel-related show of the Jakub Show. I'm excited. This is going to be very interesting. Basically, an introductory show, so you guys get to know me a little bit, and we'll get into some interesting information about the tourism industries on this episode, and some fun stuff. But we'll get to that. Now, why travel and tourism? Well, because it's very important to me. It's the travel, and it's something that's been in my blood since I was extremely little. But I'll get into those details a little bit later. And there'll be a lot of travel and tourism episodes on this show because there's a lot of things I want to tie in to what's happening in the world today, and the tourism experiences of my lifetime to what's happening now and how it affects us all, and how we should be going around and traveling and seeing a lot of different things around the world. So for me, it's important, for those that don't know yet, is that I have education in tourism. I have 3 years of education in the tourism field. I also have many years of tourism work experience. I've worked in the industry for a very long time, since it's one of my first main industries that I got into in the job field. So I'm very proud of that. A lot of good experiences, a lot of different travel and tourism innovative ideas, and I learned a lot. I'm not in it because it doesn't pay a lot. It's one of those jobs that is very rewarding for what you do. But if you want to base your career, you have to either work insanely hard and base your life around it, or just make the minimum, which a lot of people make a great money in it. But for me, it wasn't practical enough, and I just lost interest after a while. But I think this is what's going to bring some of my interest back, because I like talking about it, I like exploring it. I love discussing the tourism and travel industries, because I think the concepts behind them are very interesting, and I definitely love traveling. So we'll talk about that on this show a lot. With that in mind, I've been to, I think, almost about 25 U.S. states I've traveled to. I love road tripping. I've flown to many of them too. I've been to Europe quite a bit. Over half of Europe, I think I've been to now. But I've been to about 25 U.S. states. My goal is to hit all 49, not 50, because I don't want to go to Hawaii. It's just not interesting to me. And we'll get a lot of topics like that too. There's a lot of things that'll be extremely controversial, because some of the stuff I like and don't like will be opposites of most travel trends. So that it's like, I don't like cruises. I've never been on one. I don't want to be on a giant boat, but that's just personal preference. Some people live by cruises. They go twice a year, and it's their thing. It's not a Jakub thing. I just don't find it entertaining. I don't want to be stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean with 2,000 to 5,000 people. No, that's not fun for me. Also, which is going to piss off even more people for preference, I don't really like vacations where you go and stay at a resort and don't leave. I agree, that might be the best relaxing vacation ever. I 100% agree, but that's not my thing. And that's the difference in the tourism industries that I find the biggest discrepancies, because you have people who travel and vacation for the rest and relaxation part, and mainly you have the travel tourism sector of people who want to explore. Where do you guys put yourself in that? Do you find yourself more exploring on vacation, or the rest and relaxation part? Because those are the two main divides of the industry. Yes, there's ecological tourism, that's a niche. There's other sectors of tourism, but they're extremely small. The main two, and I'm going to focus on North America, are the domestic and American markets are either the rest and relax or the explore parts. Both are fantastic. I only find myself mostly in the explore part. Now, why? Why? Well, because driving is fun. I am a huge proponent of the road trip. If I could do everything by car, which I already drive everywhere, I would drive everywhere. I find myself a big proponent of that. Yes, flying is fun. I do find flying is entertaining, depending where you want to go. You're not not everybody wants to drive across the country. It's a big country, U.S. or Canada. But to me, you get to see more. You get to explore more, experience more when you're driving. Now, of course, time is the biggest thing because flying across to the West Coast is 4 hours. Driving to the West Coast is 3 days. So there's also that factor. Money factor, time factor. That all plays into it. But all of that can be rewarding in its own way. And like I mentioned, as I'm not a proponent of the stay and play vacations or the cruises, I see the fun in that for some people that prefer that. Going to a spot where you have your accommodations, you don't have to worry about anything. Like sometimes I like getting a house in Florida for a week and just chill there. That's cool. I like doing that too sometimes, where I don't have to worry about accommodations and stopping and staying, where everything's already set for you. That's great. People like the all-inclusive vacations. Awesome. Everything's included. You're relaxing. You're recharging your batteries. You're chilling on the beach, getting the tan. Cool. That's awesome. And I see the value in it. But for me, the value is getting the experiences of going to places I've never been and immersing myself in that local area. So road trips are fun for me. They're very, very fun. Either way, packing for all those things is its own separate nuisance. Now, road tripping, obviously, you can bring more, you can pack more, and you're less reliant on restrictions of flights and things like that. And it's just less things to worry about if you're driving places. You can just carry whatever you want. Like, I load up the truck, gone, whatever. Bring everything I need. That's not a problem. So, and I always remember to pack everything from Nutritology that I take every day. Because I do take daily supplements. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. I take daily supplements. And Nutritology is a Canadian company that provides supplements for a lot of different things. Go check them out. Nutritology.com. NUTRATOLOGY.com. And that's where I get my supplements. And they gave me a discount code Jakub10 to get your 10% off of their products. And I take a lot of different supplements from them for a lot of different reasons. Staying awake. I take it with me wherever I go. If I'm going for a road trip week somewhere, I bring what I got to bring to make sure I'm in the best shape for when I'm driving a lot. Because I do drive a lot. I like driving a lot. Sometimes it gets tiresome. But if I have the right supplements, I feel great and it gets me through it. And I recommend you guys checking it out. I do take the ashwagandha for all the benefits of that. Beetroot because I'm working out. And that seems to help me with all the things that I have to do. And I'm a big proponent of that. And this is why I love Nutritology. Go check them out. And that's another thing. Like, wherever you go, you have to think of all those things. Like, if I'm going to a set place, I worry less about food. I worry less about accommodations. When you're doing road trips, there's a lot of planning involved. And that, for me, that's kind of fun because then I have to figure out and brainstorm, okay, where do I want to stay? How far do I want to drive? And what do I want to see? Like, my last trip was across the U.S., got as far as the end of Wyoming up into Montana, and we didn't have too much figured out. We knew kind of where we were going to stay, but you don't realize how big these countries are until you drive. You don't realize how big a state is until you drive through it. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the cars, because I love cars, but I learned a lot about trucks, how my truck works, about myself, because on the way there I paced myself. I had a better plan. On the way back, I drove 32 hours straight. This was just over a week of vacationing. Like, the biggest smile on my face was when I was on one of those roads in the middle of South Dakota or Wyoming, and there was nothing. And I was like driving on the cover, and this is for my old people out there, of a road atlas. That one road with nothing around it. That was peak for me. That was happiness. I love that shit. I had a big smile on my face. One, my truck was still kicking. Two, there was one of those amazing roads that I always wanted to drive on. They're everywhere. Wildlife is just open space. And I did get to see a lot. Because road trips, you get to see things on the side of the road, signs, and make your excursions as you're getting to other places between Mount Rushmore and Devil's Tower, Badlands Park, the Grand Totem Park, and Yellowstone. So all of that. That's a lot. That's a lot to squeeze into road tripping, because you don't realize until you're there how far apart everything is. Yes, you could do the math, you could do the kilometers or miles, plan your driving, but when you're going between these states, it's so far apart. There's so many things that can go wrong or right, intangibles, but things like that require time. So that last trip taught me a lot. And one of the things that I like to do is, this is one of those traditions that I started, is I bought one of those sticker maps, and I'm putting a sticker on all the states I've been to. And you just, every time you do that, it's like you remember, I'm like, oh yeah, that happened there, or we saw that. And something I learned about the U.S. parks, national parks, is you get a park pass, which I didn't even know. I didn't even look into that. As I was doing the research for that trip, which, mind you, only did like 2 weeks of research, not even for that trip, because of scheduling reasons. You get a park pass, and the park pass is good for a year. And if you did as many parks as we did, it saves you tons of money, because it's not cheap. It's like about $30 per car to get in. It's worth it. But if you're going to multiple parks, you get the park pass, and then whatever state park you go to, national park in whatever state you go to, it saves you money. Because I think the park pass is like $80. So there you go. You go to 3 parks, there you go, save yourself some money. And it was worth it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of pictures, a lot of sightseeing. And seeing some of these things up close it's very hard to explain. Because you can see it online, you can see pictures of it, but wherever these things are, as much as you want to go see them or you don't want to go see them, things they talk about monuments-wise, or part like Badlands, is just giant holes in the ground and natural formations. You have no idea what that actually looks like until you're standing on the ledge of those things, of those formations, until you're walking around in those formations. You don't understand the spatial structure of how big these things are. Mount Rushmore, that was something. Again, the location, just getting there was an adventure, because it's really high up. And I was glad my truck made it that far. I think I put about 7,000 kilometers on the truck. That's about 5,000 miles for my American friends in that 7 to 8 day span. That's a lot of driving. And it went up mountains, went through parks, did its thing. Devil's Tower was fantastic too. Again, you don't understand the concept of what it is until you're right at the base of it. And it's like, shit, that's crazy. Mind you, we didn't go up because we didn't have a lot of time to go around it or near it, because you need to actually hike some of these things. Not a hiker. Can be. Didn't have time to that. But it was fun. It was very, very fun. And of course, Wyoming, tremendous. Montana, Yellowstone, just great things. Again, being at the glaciers, being at the everything the park has to offer, being at the springs, all the geysers. It's just different up close. Yeah, tourism is pretty good because you see a lot of there's a lot of people travel differently. The RV, the road trip, some fly in, but it's some of the things that you should see. Some of the things I recommend. And we'll talk about in a future episode of the East Coast. I did the East Coast too, and I'll be exploring more as the year goes on. Not sure what I'm doing this year yet, but there will be an episode on that. But I might as well just get into the East Coast part now. I went to Massachusetts, stayed there 2 years ago. That was another road trip. It was another 7-dayer. So a couple days, Massachusetts, went down the entire East Coast, all the way down through New York, down to New Jersey. Stayed in Atlantic City for a couple days. So I did all those states in between, drove through, checked some things out. That was fun. Jersey Shore was awesome. I gotta say, the East Coast was very, very cool. Great weather for that. And the whole Massachusetts thing was awesome because you had the ocean was super clean on that side right out there. So it was a great experience. Sea lion watching and all that stuff. And then, I went all the way down to Jersey Shore. So that was quite a bit of a drive. And then came back eventually after all the stay there through Pennsylvania and saw all those. You don't realize how many mountains are in New York and Pennsylvania. Well, not giant mountains, but big enough. So that's a fun drive. That surprised me. So there's a lot of things to see in between. Road tripping for me is big, and we'll talk about a lot of road tripping because that's one of the things I like. And I want to promote tourism. Now this year, I'm also going to be looking into Canadian tourism as I want to explore more of what we have here. And get into more of that because as much as I like going to the States, there's some things I still want to continue exploring here. And I've been through everything in Ontario already. I want to explore more of that. So before we get to more, this year is my goal to focus more on mental health and mental health awareness. And that's huge for me. And travel helps with that. Taking a break from everything we do every day is key. Mental health is huge. And I've partnered with the Man Project, which focuses on men's mental health. And they support different causes and that deal with mental health awareness. And they make amazing bracelets. I have 3. And they're nice enough to offer me a discount code SNA10. SNA10 when you go to speakupmanprojectorg.com. And when you get some, they'll give you a little discount. And I don't get any kickbacks for this because I told them to donate to charity, anything that I would get to support these amazing causes. And tourism, travel, I feel to me is one of those things that helps with mental health. And being part of the Man Project and what they do, I'm excited to be involved with them and give you this discount code SNA10. When you buy your bracelets, they're fashionable, they're fun. Make sure you size them properly. That's key. And I will continue supporting men's mental health initiatives over the entire progress of this show. And that's what I'm just going to do. It's fun. Check it out when you get a chance. So as this show goes on, you will find that I'm going to talk about a lot of different things, tourism related eventually. Between Canada and North America a lot because I want to explore more Canada. I've explored the US. You never know where I might go, what I might do. And there's a lot of different things that we should focus on because I think tourism is important. I mentioned mental health, but I also mentioned that we should see different things, not just our own little spaces. So there is a little breakdown I want to cover by in the US and Canada for travelers that I find interesting. That covered the year 2025. That was just last year, but I think it's kind of important that we know some of the stats of what's happening in the tourism industry that we have now. So from the US, we have some stats that might be a little interesting for everybody. Is that 70% of American millennial and Gen Z travelers report seeking out experiences that their family and friends have not heard of. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. And that's a good thing. Go to places that you haven't, that some of your friends haven't done. That's awesome. Do new things. Travel is important. 63% of American travelers age 50 plus will still embrace the idea of taking a bucket list trip. So that's really good. That's really good. Because you should have some things on your list. Like, I want to do this one day. Like, I have a bucket list for myself for things I want to do. And I'm getting through it. And we'll talk about those on a future episode. Bucket list trips. We'll get to that. So, now you have 84% of millennial responders want to travel somewhere they can immerse themselves in local culture, according to a survey from American Express Travel. That's awesome. Go travel the world. That's extremely important. I'm going to have a huge conversation on an episode where we'll talk about world travel. My experiences overseas, we'll talk about them, how that's important. Now, like I mentioned before, there is things as green travel and eco-friendly. Now, 56% of Gen Z say they want to travel in green or eco-friendly accommodations. That's cool. And we have those. So that's fun for Canadians. Now, it's really interesting because our domestic tourism has went up. It's increased by 0.5%. That's awesome. Because we're getting more people coming to travel. But we're also traveling more within Canada because there's a lot more things to see. And that's my focus a little bit more the next couple of years is traveling more within Canada. I've done half of what I want to do stateside. Now I want to focus a little bit on Canada before I go back to the US. So there's going to be a lot of conversations about that. Now, we have for 2025, the revenue, actually not our key tourism trends in 2025, tourism has gone up 15.6%. Sorry, 10.9% year over year. That's awesome. Good. Now, jobs have gone up in the tourism industry. That's good because it's hard. The tourism industry is extremely hard to work in. But Ontario online travel agencies, OTAs, held 42.95% of bookings with a focus on mobile and last-minute travel. That's also important because not everybody has time to plan in the world we live in today. It's not the same like it used to be. Plus, a lot of the deals happen last minute. We'll talk about that in the future. And the biggest thing in 2025, the hotel occupancy rate peaked at 80%, which is the highest level since 2014. That's awesome. It means more people are traveling locally. More people are traveling within Canada. That's awesome. That's really good. And the U.S. residents made 1.8 million trips to Canada in 2025, up 3%. So that is also fantastic. So we'll talk about a lot of this stuff on upcoming episodes. And yeah, we'll see where all that goes. There's so many things to talk about with travel and tourism because the U.S. dominates still with tourism of road trips, which is what I like. Drive to the destinations are a focus. So that's going to be something. Camping's huge. That's 17.4 million households are planning camping trips, which is up. Now, mind you, COVID was part of that, but it's still going up. So it's great. Domestic travel in Canada, like I said, it's an increase of 10.9%. So that's awesome. But also the challenges of high airfares have led to that. Again, that's a different topic for a different time. So as I'm finishing off that, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. It's just an introduction episode to the travel and tourism stuff that I will be doing on this show. And we'll get to more eventually and break things down a little bit more specifically as we go. Kind of give you an insight to things I've done and that I want to do. Questions, concerns, get to the email jakubshowpodcast@gmail.com. DM me on any socials. And if there's anything else you want me to talk about, tourism related, anything specific, I'd love to. And if not, I'm definitely going to get to it because there's going to be a lot of tourism episodes coming up. So thank you for listening. Talk to you guys soon.